Here's a weird paradox for you. Have you ever noticed that the more skilled you get, the more responsible you become, the less time you seem to have? It's like your success is a double-edged sword. As your skills grow, so does this nagging feeling that you're just constantly racing against the clock. So today, let's dig into why this happens and, what we can actually do about it. This is the big question, right? I'm always chased by time. Can I ever work with a sense of ease? It's something so many successful leaders and professionals are quietly asking themselves. You've got this huge view of the big picture, more responsibility than ever, but you're also just drowning in deadlines and this constant feeling of being rushed. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. It's not a personal failure, it's a pattern. So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through this in 4 parts. First, we'll talk about this shared struggle. Then we'll uncover the psychological trap behind it all. After that, we'll look at a really simple solution that we all used to know. And finally, we'll get into the daily payoff of actually putting it into practice. All right, let's dive into part 1, the shared struggle. Let's just start by acknowledging this feeling, because it's real. Why do so many of us feel like we're constantly running on empty? It's a super common theme for leaders. The pressure is coming from everywhere, and your role has probably gotten way bigger than its original job description. I mean, in today's lean teams, most managers aren't just managing, are they? No way. You're in the trenches, doing the work right alongside your team. You have to execute, you have to hit those deadlines, and you have to motivate everyone else, all while your own to-do list is just exploding. It's no wonder we feel chased. Okay, on to part 2, the trap of growth. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Psychologists actually have a name for the specific trap that so many successful people fall right into. It's called the planning fallacy, and it's basically our brain's tendency to be a little too optimistic about how long something will take. Even when we have past experience telling us otherwise. As we get more experienced and successful, we get more confident. We see the bigger picture, and that's great. But that very confidence is what tricks us into consistently underestimating how much effort our work really needs. Think about it. Go back in time to when you were brand new at your job. You were probably super cautious, right? You broke every big project down into these tiny, manageable little steps because, frankly, you were terrified of messing up. You had to focus on the how. But now, as a leader, you're optimistic, you're confident, you see the big picture, the end goal, and you're just focused on the what. And that right there is the core of the problem. Your success turned you into a fantastic big picture thinker, which is an absolutely vital skill for a leader. But here's the side effect. You lose that beginner's habit of meticulously, almost obsessively breaking tasks down. You see a goal like launch new campaign, and your brain mistakes that goal for a plan. You just think, yeah, I got this. And that optimism totally blinds you to the 20 small, boring, tedious steps you have to take to actually make it happen. So, part 3, the beginner's solution. What's the fix? Well, it's a little counterintuitive. We actually have to go back in time and learn to see our work through the eyes of a novice again. Let me just show you what I mean with a simple example. Okay, imagine you're hosting a house party tonight. It's 10 a.m. and guests arrive at 7 p.m. You've got 9 whole hours. Plenty of time, right? An experienced host, an optimistic host, thinks, oh, this is easy. They see the end goal, a fantastic party. They don't see the process. So this is what happens. You kick back, you have some coffee, you enjoy a long lunch because 9 hours feels like forever. Then, boom, it's 4 p.m. and you suddenly realize you have to clean the house, cook, set the table, get yourself ready, all in 3 hours. It's pure chaos, total stress. That is the planning fallacy in action. Now, let's contrast that with the smart host, the one who still thinks like a beginner. At 10 a.m., they pull out a piece of paper and they spend 20 minutes, just 20, writing down every single tiny task. Not cook dinner, but chop onions, marinate chicken. Not 5 big things, but 20 small ones. The list itself might feel like a waste of time, but believe me, it is the most important part of the day. Because here's the key takeaway. The more you break something down, the more order you create. That list of 20 little tasks creates a natural flow, a sequence. You're not looking at this giant, scary monster called host a party anymore. You're just moving from one small, satisfying, completed task to the next. This detailed plan is the direct antidote to feeling completely overwhelmed. So, let's get to part 4, the daily payoff. How does this whole party planning thing apply to our actual work? let's look at how this one tiny idea can build into a powerful habit that really does create that sense of ease we're all looking for.
You know, when you look at your day as one giant task, have a productive day, you basically set yourself up for a pass or fail. It's totally binary. And on those tough days, it is so easy to get to the end of the day and just feel like a failure, like you got nothing done at all. And that is a surefire recipe for burnout.
But what happens when you break your day into, say, 20 small tasks? Well, your sense of accomplishment becomes granular. You're not passing or failing anymore. Instead, you can look back and say, okay, I finished 15 out of 20 things. That's a 75-point day. Not bad. Tomorrow, I'm going to shoot for 85. This shift in thinking is so powerful. It makes progress feel constant, even on the days you can't get to everything. It turns this huge, overwhelming challenge into a manageable, point-based game. You get a much more realistic sense of your own momentum, and that is incredibly motivating. So here's your action item. It's super simple. Pick one big thing on your to-do list for tomorrow. Then, take out an actual pen and a piece of paper, not your keyboard. The physical act is important here. And break that one task down into as many small, concrete steps as you possibly can. It's time to relearn that amazing habit you used to have. You know, that feeling of being chased by time, maybe it's not a sign that you need to run faster. Maybe it's a signal to just check in with yourself. As we grow, sometimes we leave really powerful tools behind. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is a powerful habit you've lost on your journey to success? And what would happen if you reclaimed it?